broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 81 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I've got Damon here with me today, and I've got our friend Ziggy from ZiggyKnowsDisney.com. We haven't talked to Ziggy in, it's been a while, Ziggy, I think.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the...
Yeah, probably a year and a half or 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's been 2 years. It's tough.
It does feel that way.
Ziggy, I keep telling Tom to get you on. Blame him.
Thanks, Damon. I know you got my back.
It's just it's hard to get people on sometimes. We're always doing all sorts of different stuff and different formats, and we've been doing some live shows, and I had actually asked Ziggy to do the live show last time, but Ziggy's on a time difference, and I had asked him kind of last minute, so he didn't even see it until after we had already done it. So that's my fault.
Yeah, tonight because I'm 6 hours ahead of you guys, so it's 12:30 over here, and so
I'm pulling
an all-nighter for you.
I'd be catching Z's like 4 hours ago.
I'm a night owl, so it's okay.
That's poor Ziggy over here. It's past midnight.
Yeah,
but it's I appreciate you staying up for us, Ziggy, and I know listeners will too. So
that's more dedication than even I have.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be with you guys.
Do you want to introduce yourself because we have a lot of new listeners? Yeah, so if you want to introduce yourself, talk about your website, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ziggy. So my website is Ziggy Knows Disney. Started it like 4 years back, and basically I do a lot of mostly the parks. So I cover Disney World and Disneyland for the most part, and I try to do all the news stuff, the latest updates, whatever's going on, and then a lot of trip planning. So if you're planning a trip to Disney World, especially, then my site is a good resource for that. I try to get a lot of restaurant reviews, a lot of attraction stuff, and ways to save money, planning your trip, things like that. So,
and Ziggy's been everywhere. That's the other thing. Ziggy's been everywhere. So he knows. Ziggy does know.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. Yeah, I've been doing it since I was born. Basically, my parents have been taking me to Disney World since I was an infant. So I've been going my whole life, and yeah, I feel like I've been enough times where I could at least help somebody out.
And you've been to most of the parks too, right?
I haven't been to the Asian parks though.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't been to Shanghai, Hong Kong, or Tokyo, but I've been to Paris, and then obviously all the domestic ones. So yeah. Yeah, but Disney World for the most part. Disneyland, I've been out maybe 5 or 6 times. But every year I go to Disney World at least like 3 or 4 times. So that's where most of my knowledge comes from, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Damon's going to finally take a trip to Disneyland.
I know we were talking about
this
before.
Yes, he told me. I'm impressed. I'm really excited for him.
Yeah.
We were having an argument a couple podcasts ago, Ziggy, where he was saying that he wasn't going to go on any of the rides that were also at Disney World.
No. Hold on a second. So Ziggy, what I really said was this. I said, if I have a limited amount of time, which I will, right? Because we're actually driving out there and driving back. So my time's going to be a little bit more limited. I am not going to go on rides that are also at Disney World. Right, that's my time savings for myself. I don't see that's a big deal.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I understand that, but I mean, how many days are you going for?
I mean, my guess is I'll only be there 3. Maybe 2, but 3. Yeah.
In 3 days, and even in 2 days, you'll be able to do everything. But in 3 days, definitely. But I mean, some of the rides, like okay, Pirates, for example.
Well, no, that one I get, right?
Yeah, that's way better in Disneyland. You got to do that one. But some of them are very, very similar. I think Space Mountain is also really a lot better in Disneyland. It's a lot smoother, doesn't jerk you around as much. So definitely try that one. Just Pirates and Space Mountain.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, what I was kind of getting at, so like the Incredicoaster, right? Like, let me ride that. If I ride it once, great. But if I have my opportunity to ride that twice and then miss out on something else that already exists in Disney World, that's what I'm going to do, Tom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say.
Well, I mean, some of the rides are like Big Thunder's even slightly different. There's a couple different rides that are slightly different. But I get not going on Soarin', where it's like the exact same thing, right? Well, so I get not doing Soarin'.
But
right?
Even Big Thunder to me, which is not necessarily like a favorite ride of mine in general, I'd rather see the stuff that's way different. That's just me. And again, if I can see the way different stuff more than once, that's what I'm probably going to do.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Makes sense.
If you have limited time, I guess, that makes total.
Yeah, if I was staying for a week, totally different story, but
I guess Tom, he's making baby steps. At least we're getting him there now. He's
Exactly.
put in the park almost.
exactly.
Yeah. We just need to get him to care about the Disneyland topics when we talk about them. He will, I guess, when the trip's coming up, right? So
I don't even know if I will. Because Ziggy, I think one of the big things is that they're kind of busting my chops about Tower of Terror out there. What is it? It's got the Guardians of the Galaxy theme.
Yeah,
I have no interest in that. Zero. Zero interest.
Do you like Tower of Terror? Is that?
I do like Tower of Terror, but I'm not a Guardians of the Galaxy dude. So for me, I look at that ride and I just go, man,
it's like a party. It's like a party on Tower of Terror. I mean, it's so high energy, and you can't not do that ride and then leave without a smile on your face. It's really, really fun ride.
And you know what the other thing is too, is that for something specific like that ride is I don't know if my daughter will go on it. So again, that may be one ride that we just don't go on just because she doesn't want to go on it. And I'm not going to be there with anyone else except my own family at that point. And I try to, at that point, cause my wife does so much, right? I try to say, okay, you know what? I'll just let her go on it rather than me and take the boys. So I may end up not riding that ride just for my own self because my daughter won't ride and let my wife go with the boys, cause again, I don't have this pressing need for it. So I try to make those concessions at least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or rides that are super scary that I just don't want to go anymore because I'm a big baby. Because that happened too. We were at Silver Dollar City, which is like Dollywood, and it was great park. Absolutely loved it. But there was this big roller coaster, and and I knew my daughter wasn't going. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll stay with her. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Wait, is it just as you're getting older you don't want to do those?
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. So I would go on anything and everything, right? It's kind of the same thing I always used to do, backflips off the high dive. You start to get older, physically, can I do it? Yeah, but I'm kind of nah, I'm good. I'm good.
It's gonna hurt in the morning.
Yeah, I'm good. I can get past that. So, hey, Tom, wait, before we start the first topic though, I have to address these last two reviews. I can't help myself. Normally reviews don't bother me.
These bothered you?
But these actually bothered me.
Well, they're the worst reviews we've ever gotten. So I can see that.
And they, again, from the standpoint of what they were, they just kind of made me mad. So, this guy listens to the last episode, which there's really no Disney news. And then he's mad because we're just kind of talking amongst ourselves during a live podcast, right? But what do you want us to talk about? I think these are people that maybe are looking for more DVC math shows, right?
Yeah.
And that's not us.
More deep dive into DVC,
But then to be mad about Jeffrey, the puppet? How can you possibly be mad about Jeffrey? What is going on in your life that you're mad that you can't see a person that you've never seen before, and then there's this awesome puppet, and you're mad about the puppet? So go listen to some of our other episodes. If you're mad, and you listen to, new ones about actual Disney stuff, but that was a little bit of a different show. The other one though, oh my goodness, the other one. So first of all,
I should have never told you these were.
You should have never. I would have found them.
I shouldn't
eventually.
have told you. You would have found them eventually. I saw them and I was I had to tell David. So.
I gotta read these.
You gotta go read them. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some ones that are about me, but he doesn't. He might have listened to the show, but he has to understand something. When he's a new member to DVC, and this is where it kind of gets on track for DVC, is that he's a new member and he's upset that he may lose points. And I understand that as a new member, but I'm telling you, I don't care if I lose points, right? Me personally, doesn't care if I lose points. Why does that impact you? Why do you care about that? And I never attacked anyone else about losing points. All I said is, I don't care.
Well, and I think you also said when we were having that conversation that you understand why people would be upset about losing.
Yes. So to me, that review just makes me quite angry. Because again, it's like you didn't listen and then you're mad about something you thought you heard. Well, you didn't hear that. So go back and listen to again. That's the best thing about podcasts. Go back and listen to again. So yeah, those bothered me. The other ones never bothered me. Those two just kind of bothered me. And I was like, you know what? Come on.
Like the one that we got that was 4-star that would be changed to a 5-star if we got rid of Damon.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all.
That's one of my favorites. I love that one. I'll be like, I really want that 5 stars. Maybe I should just kick Damon off the show.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's always funny because I think at the end of the day is that you have to have different personalities to make a show enjoyable overall. But when you have a single point, which is, a single person, giving their opinion of a show, if they don't kind of mesh with one of the personalities, this is not going to work. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, my favorite one probably is the Tom, nails on the chalkboard one, right? Like that to me is funny, right? Like,
yeah.
We all have them. And I'll say to all the people that don't like us, that's great. Cause that means we made it. Right? Like haters, yeah. Right? That's the way it works. So
the worst thing is when someone doesn't have any opinion of you. We'd rather you either like or hate us.
Of course. So but I had to address this. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I also just want to say too, Damon, somebody said that Trevor and I are afraid to stand up to you and tell you that.
Oh my goodness, no.
And that's not the case at all. I think on this show, first of all, we try to keep it positive, and we're also not trying to yell at each other. Do you want us to just yell at each other? Do you want this to be like a sports show where you just yell at each other over?
Dude,
each
I'm Stephen A. I guess you could be Max.
You're Stephen. There you go. But we don't want to do that. I mean, I think. When Damon says something we disagree with, we say that we disagree with it, but there's no reason for us to get angry about it and yell at him about it. It's just not in our personalities to do that. And we don't want the podcast to be that either. So
no, and I'm definitely opinionated. So, I mean, you're going to get what my opinion is no matter what. That's what you're going to get. So you can definitely not listen to it, but I understand. And Tom, how many times do I say, I understand that other people have different opinions. This is just my opinion. So if you don't like my opinion, that's fine, but that's what I'm going to do. But I like Ziggy, so I think we're at least all on board for liking Ziggy.
That's right. Yeah, that's Ziggy. Ziggy doesn't get any bad reviews, so that's
never. None.
That's not true. But.
You got some hate on your website.
Oh yeah, there's definitely that one guy that's you're supposed to capitalize that letter and you didn't do it. It's okay, did you read anything else? I mean, come on.
The grammar police get you.
People are always gonna complain about something, Damon. So don't let it get you down.
Yeah. Usually I don't. These ones kind of stuck at me a little bit, and I was like, I'm gonna have to address those.
Well, to be honest too, we try to be for everybody, but we're not going to be for everybody. Not everybody is going to enjoy listening to this, and truthfully, it's I don't want to make excuses, but it's been hard lately because there's not a lot to talk about. We are a DVC and Disney news show. There's not a lot of news to talk about. There's only so many times we can speculate about what the parks are going to look like when they reopen. There's only so many times we can do that. So
I agree.
I get it. It's not been, the easiest thing to create content recently. And we're doing a different kind of show today, actually. And we're
going to catch more hate on that.
Probably.
These guys say they do DVC and they don't talk about DVC.
Well, I can talk about the fact that I just got an offer accepted on a new contract today. So,
but literally, explain the whole situation to kind of why you're going about doing this. And I think you're actually going to keep them all, but tell me what your plan is.
You're probably right about this, Damon. I've talked about it on the show before. I bought a Animal Kingdom contract. I don't know, 2 years ago, probably now. And it was a different use year than my current contract was. And I at the time, I was like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And truthfully, even though we do a DVC show, we don't know every single scenario. And I didn't realize how much of a pain it was actually going to be. And it's been kind of a pain. I don't really like calling DVC to do stuff. I know Damon likes to call, but I don't like to call. I like to do everything online.
I like to ask my wife to call. So you at least get it right.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So I like to do everything online, and with the 2 separate use years and the 2 different membership numbers, it makes things a little more complicated. You got to call a lot, and it's just a little more challenging. And so I had put an alert on DVC Resale Market's app for a specific for my use year for a specific amount of points for Animal Kingdom, and all of a sudden one of them popped up yesterday, and it was 107 a point, 100-point contract. It strips though, so there's no points for this year or for next year. So my first points don't come until 2022, which is okay. I'm all right with that. Dues are going to be paid by the seller for the next 2 years. So even though there's no points, I'm not paying dues until 2022. So that's fine with me. It was a good contract for what I was looking for. It was I thought a decent price. And so I decided to buy that so I can, the thought is to replace the one that's the other use year. But like you said, Damon, I could see me in 2022 being like, well, maybe I don't want to replace that one. Maybe I'll just keep it and have all these points.
And I think, I think for you, that's not a bad thing. You're at a time where, your daughter is going to start loving Disney. And to have those extra points to make those extra trips might be great right now. And then if you decide in the future you want to get rid of the other one, that might make sense. I mean, again, she gets a little bit older. Then you go, well, maybe I don't need so many points.
Well, and that's kind of what we were thinking too, because lately we used to just get studios, but now that we have my daughter, we're like, we can't, if she's going to go to bed at 7:00 at night, we don't want to go to bed at 7:00 at night. So we need a separate space to.
I would love to go to bed at 7:00 at night.
I couldn't if I tried. But, it's tough if you're in a studio where, you have a 2-year-old or 3-year-old or even just, any age really going to bed that early. If that's something that's consistently happening and all's being in the same room.
Or a husband going to bed that early? Is that
yeah, or that. Yeah, or that. This is a challenge for your wife, I'm sure. But yeah, so that's kind of what the thought is here is maybe start getting bigger rooms. And, we have a pretty large family and everybody wants to go to Disney with us and with my daughter. So we're like, whose turn is it this time? Who's up this time to come to Disney with us? And that's kind of how it's been. And so with more points, it can get a little bit easier. But I mean, listen, this is, I was talking to Derek because I sent this through Derek. And I literally sent the offer in, and within 10 minutes, I got an accepted offer. And I said to Derek, I was like, wow, that was fast. And he goes, yeah, it's amazing how quickly you can spend $10,000. I was like, I know. It's just, it's such a quick process when you start it off like that, from making an offer to getting it accepted. I'm sure it can take longer sometimes, but the 2 contracts I've done so far have been like within 15 minutes, I've gotten an accepted offer. So yeah, so I just got a new contract, maybe, as long as Disney doesn't buy it back and, as long as nothing else happens. But so there's your DVC topic for the day.
Yay.
We covered that, right? So what we wanted to do this show, we wanted to do something a little bit different. I was just talking about a little bit. Things have been, let's say, sad and gloomy and nothing has been happy, and for most of us, and I'm sure Ziggy, I don't want to speak for you, but this, Disney's our happy place. This is where we go to escape real life, and we can't do that right now. And we've been, the past couple shows it's been kind of I don't want to say a bummer, but I mean, I still enjoy doing the show. But
you met Jeffrey. How could
that
possibly be a bummer?
We did, but it's just the topics are not the most exciting to talk about. So we decided to do something a little bit different this time. We asked, and we do have some other news topics that are not necessarily park related.
Dude, the Endor stuff, I'm all in to talk about that.
Oh, you're all about that, right? So we're going to talk about some park stuff, but not about the parks being closed or about them opening again or any of that. We're not getting into any of that today. We're talking about things that could have been. We're talking about movies possibly. We're talking about lots of stuff. So we had asked for listener topics on the group, and we got a bunch of them. And by the way, thank you all for submitting them. We're not going to cover them all today. Just letting you know, we got a lot of them. So we're going to do some of them, the ones that we can do today, and then we'll save some for future shows. But I like this first one from Gwendolyn. Do you guys want to do this one? I think this is a good one.
Let's do everything we got here.
Yeah, let's do it up. All right, so let's start here. So this is called Would You Rather, and she threw a couple out here, and actually she put some more on the Facebook page. I challenged her to do more than the 4 that she sent us, but she said a Would You Rather. So the first one is stay non-DVC or do a 5-way split stay. I'm guessing she means 5 different resorts, right?
That's brutal. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Can I go first?
Of course you can.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll do non-DVC for sure, because five different resorts in one stay is really tough. The last trip I just did, I wanted to do some recent reviews on some of the hotels. So I went to Port Orleans, French Quarter, Riverside, and the Riviera Resort in like 5 days. So I did 3 resorts in 5 days. It was tough. I thought it was going to be, this is going to be no problem. It'll be super easy. I'll just go. But it was bad. And so after the second switch, I was like, why did I do this again? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking when I planned it. So it sounds really cool. Oh, yeah, I'll see a new hotel every few days or something. But it gets hard. And if you have kids, then it's even worse. So hotel for me, or non-DVC for me.
Ziggy, what'd you think of the Riviera? I'm curious what your review of Riviera was.
I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it was because I don't know, maybe it was because they figured I had a website or something, but I had an actual my stay was for the very, very small room, which is the tower
The
suite or
Tower
whatever, but
Studio?
yeah, the tower studio, sorry. And it's basically just like there is no bed, it's a pull-out bed from the wall. It was a trundle. And so it was me and my dad. And so we got there and we're like, this is not going to be very fun. And the manager, when he saw the surprise in our faces, like, oh, I think I can hook you guys up. So he actually put us in a two-bedroom. He put us in
Jeez.
for the same price. Yeah,
Talk about pixie dust. Their next topic is Pixie Dust Experiences. That is quite the
yeah.
pixie dust right there.
It was because I wanted to do a review on both rooms. It was my first time staying there, so I got the tower studio, and then the other one was a one bedroom. But we ended up staying both nights in the two bedroom, and then he just gave us a tour of the other one so I could take pictures and stuff for the website. So it worked out awesome. But the grounds are really cool. They have two pools, which are both very nice. The location is awesome because you're right in the middle of Hollywood Studios and Epcot. You're accessible from the Skyliner. So the restaurant Topolino's was amazing. We had breakfast, the character breakfast there, and we had dinner there.
I
And
keep hearing that Topolino's breakfast is like the best on property. Everyone's telling me that.
yeah, no, it is really, really good.
But so what would you say breakfast wise? Again, I'm all about food, right? So
Yep.
what makes it so good?
So I think there's a definite step up in quality from the breakfast there to compared to any other character breakfast
Okay.
on property. So I mean, it's not a buffet. So if you're looking to have like 5 plates of food, then okay, and it's not that's not what it is. But what you're getting is a very, very, very high quality breakfast. So I think they brought us a tray full of like croissants and pastries and things like that with some different spreads, like a Nutella spread and some different jams and whatever. And then my main course was it was a steak on like a bed of cheesy polenta with some potatoes. But the steak was not like your typical breakfast steak that you would get at Denny's or something like that. It was like a $40 steak that you would get for dinner. It was a really, really nice steak and perfectly executed. You could just tell the quality was there. So I'm pretty a stickler about that. And I don't like, if I'm going to spend the money, I don't want it to be cheap tasting. And also the view is amazing because you're up on the top of the resort, so you have a awesome panorama, and the characters are really good too. You get all the you get Minnie, Mickey, Donald, and Daisy. I believe those are the four that were there. So some pretty good characters too. So yeah, overall, we loved it.
Yeah, I keep hearing that and I had for my April trip that I was supposed to go on. I had Topolino's scheduled for breakfast, but obviously that didn't happen. So I'm trying to reschedule it for my future trip here because I like you said, I've just heard from everybody that it's the best character breakfast. So I'm excited to check that out. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that you like the resort though too.
Yeah, no, everything they treated us amazing. The only thing I would say that was a little bit, the downside is it is a little bit expensive, but as far as it's very, very clean, there's a high quality, like, it's built well. You just have a really good feeling when you're there, and even though you're spending maybe a little bit more than, I don't know if you were going to stay right down 100 meters away at the Caribbean beach or something, you're going to spend less, obviously, but you're getting a high quality resort in my opinion. So yeah, my dad loved it. My dad wants me to take him back again. So
nice. Well, I guess that was a good tangent. But so I'll answer this question. I would rather. It depends on how long my trip is, the non-DVC or a 5-way split stay. Because I think I could deal with a 5-way split stay if I was there for like 3 weeks. Right? Like if I was there for like 3 weeks and I was staying at each resort for like 3 nights at a time or something like that, then I think I could handle it. But outside of that, I'd probably go non-DVC.
Yeah, I think in her head, she was probably thinking, again, I don't want to necessarily speak for Gwendolyn, but like she was probably thinking 1 or 2 days max at each place.
Yeah, I think that's probably what her thought was.
And that becomes tough. See, would I do a 5-way split stay moving every 2 days? Yeah, I would, but no one in my family would. So I think for the sanity of my family, I'd have to say non-DVC. And the other thing is too, I don't know how you guys feel. Again, here I go. I'm going to probably catch some, Disney hate on this, but I'm getting to the point where I've seen so much Disney. Like, there's some pretty cool hotels in Florida. Like, that the Gaylord Palms, right? Like, I love that place, right? So for me, I wouldn't mind seeing some non-DVC. Or are we talking non-DVC or non-Disney? Like, is that like that to me is.
Well, I think she's referring to like the resorts that are like, like Port Orleans or Caribbean Beach or. Oh, I think so. I think that's what she's at. I think that's what she's saying here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
then I definitely. Yeah. So then I would definitely say I'd say non-DVC.
I mean, before I was DVC, Disney. That's all I stayed was non-DVC, right? So
yeah. But again, so now I'm going to change the question a little bit though. So now it's non-on-site Disney or 5-way split stay.
Oh, okay.
So that one to me gets a little bit more interesting. I would probably do non-Disney because again, that's where my head was leading, even though I misread the question. So I want everyone to pay for my mistake and have to answer that question too.
There you go. Oh, you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
I'm still going split stay on that because I to be honest, besides like the Four Seasons and a couple of the other ones around there. I mean, I would definitely like to stay at the Four Seasons. That seems really nice. But
I stayed at that one with the ducks. What was that one again? Where you get to lead the duck walk?
What are you talking about?
The Peabody.
Oh,
so
okay.
There was this awesome hotel in Orlando where there's these ducks that get led through the hotel. I believe it's the Peabody. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm like, what? The ducks get led through the hotel? What?
Yeah, it's a duck march. I don't even know if that hotel exists anymore.
Huh.
But anyway, it was down there. I think the one in Florida doesn't exist. I think maybe just the one in Memphis. And I knew somebody that worked there. She was a friend from doing some, the website stuff. And she was like, hey, I know you're not staying here, but come down. And my kids were pretty young. She was, I'll pick your kids to lead the duck march. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but sure. It was awesome. Like the kids get to go in front, like and parade the ducks from where they're staying to I think it was the rooftop. Like there's like a roof. Is it on the roof maybe or some balcony? There's, where they lead them to a fountain and it's awesome. Like there's some cool things non-Disney as well. And that was one I'm glad that I saw and was able to get the opportunity. Now, if my kids weren't leading it, it might've been different, but like it's pretty cool. So that would be like what I would say. Yeah. So there's, besides the Four Seasons, there's still some pretty cool stuff down there. The Gaylord Palms is really nice, man.
Yeah. That's true. Does the Swan and Dolphin count?
No.
Because that's not a Disney resort. And
it still doesn't count. Sorry.
I'm just asking.
I'm not letting you have that one on my new made up question.
Because I would have no problem staying there because it's right in the middle of the action. So
I understand.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
I would definitely stay off-site if it meant switching hotels 5 times or 4 times in a span of every day or every other day. That's too much. As Damon said, there's some pretty cool hotels in Orlando, so that wouldn't be bad to me.
All right, let's do this next one. Ride the monorail or the Skyliner. I'll go first on this just because I'm already talking. I am going to go. I love the monorail. The monorail is like one of those weird things that like from childhood for me is, something I remember. I remember riding in the front of the monorail one time, getting to ride with the driver. So it's a sentimental thing for me. However, I love the Skyliner. I think I go Skyliner here because the monorail, when there's a lot of people, can fill up and then you're done. You got to wait for the next train to come in. The Skyliner keeps moving, right? And that line moves quick. It was so convenient. The views were great. It was quiet. It was kind of intimate almost where, you have your own space. It was awesome. So I'm going Skyliner.
Yeah, I'm with you. The monorail for me, the same thing. I grew up with it, so there's always a nostalgia whenever you get on the monorail, but it's hot. Like so a lot of the times the air conditioning doesn't work. It smells bad half the time. I mean, the Skyliner is awesome. I love it. I've now been able to, on my last like 3 stays, I've been able to be down there and ride it around, and every time we've never had any issues. It's quick. It's actually really cool. Like physically cool. There's a nice airflow in there. I find it really
surprisingly windy in them. You don't like when you're in them. There's so much airflow coming through. It surprised me when I did that.
Yeah, it is, and there's like as you said, there's not usually a long line for it. It moves very quickly. A lot of the time they give you your own cabin. I mean, even or maybe just with a couple other people. But I've never been in it with 10 people, which is the max amount of people that you can get in there. So I love the Skyliner. I'm with you.
So for me, I would also say Skyliner. The monorail's just beat at this point. Like I'm over it. I hate to say it. Like, and there's really, for me, there's really no nostalgia there. Like the monorail is just a way for transportation for me personally. So I would definitely say Skyliner. And again, I think that if we're talking in the future, right, Skyliner to me seems very less social distanced than the monorail. Yes. So I'm on board with that.
The math might change on that a little bit if they get new monorail trains at some point, although that doesn't seem very plausible right now with, the financial stress the company's going through. Those are expensive. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean, they need to. These things are way past their life. And like Ziggy said, they smell like a barn every time you get on them. So it's, I always call that. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. My guess is that they're going to expand the Skyliner eventually. Like, I think it sets up perfectly. It could go over to Disney Springs on one side. It could go over on the other side to Animal Kingdom. I think you're going to have that whole section of Disney World eventually connected because to me they've been a pretty good success, and it would make a lot of sense.
And the buses at Disney Springs stink.
Oh yeah, they're so infrequent.
That's true.
Yeah, so that would be great. I love Disney Springs, so for me, that would be awesome. And that leads into the next question.
You want to do this one, Damon?
To do a resort-only stay in Walt Disney World, or go to Vero Beach, Hilton Head. This is a little bit tougher for me because if you want to dig into my, nostalgia and, happy place and, my family's gone, like you talk about Hilton Head for me because we went every single year. Like, even if I don't go to Disney this year, I will still drive to Hilton Head. And if I had to, because my kids have gone every year, if I had to go, I'd go to Hilton Head, drive in, go to the beach, take a picture, get in the car, come back home. I would do that. So Hilton Head is somewhere that is a tough one. I'm going to still say Walt Disney World Resort just because I'd be going to Hilton Head for something else anyway. So it doesn't make sense. And there's so much that we haven't explored in the resorts. And by resort only stay, I mean, you still have Disney Springs. So again, that's got to be included here as my assumption.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But even if you kept me just at the resorts only and didn't even let me go to Disney Springs, there's so many things that I haven't explored in the resorts that you never have the time to do. So I would do that. But only if I was going to Hilton Head at another point during the year. That's what I'll say.
That's fair. I'm with you. I would think I would do a resort only stay. Like you said, we're always so busy running from one park to the next and one reservation to the next. We never really do any of the stuff that's at the resort, and they do stuff all day at the resort. There's activities all day, and there's, but there's also the miniature golf courses. There's all sorts of other activities you can do. Stuff on the lakes. You can go fishing. You can rent a boat. I mean, there's all this other stuff that you can do that you don't need to be going to the parks for. So that's what I would go with too. As much as I love Hilton Head, and I would love to be in Hilton Head, I'm good with a resort stay.
Yep, I'm with you. If you think of a place like my favorite resort is the Yacht and Beach Club. So I could stay at the Beach Club for a month and be completely happy with that. I prefer the pool to the ocean anyway. So if I had to choose, then I would do that resort only stay.
All right, that makes sense. So the next, I think we should move on to the next topic.
Yeah, because that we're 30 minutes in, we haven't even gotten past the first listener topic. Just saying.
That's why I said we probably weren't going to cover all these.
I think you were probably right. I'm going to have to take back to say we were, because it's not going to happen.
Because there's just too many things, right? So the next one, Rob had put out Disney Ranks top 5 rides, quick service, transportation, DVC resorts, table service. Maybe we just obviously we can't do top 5 for all these. That's a lot. So let's just pick maybe
wait
one
a second. You're going to skip over Pixie Dust and the last of Gwendolyn's topics?
We can talk.
Well, we got to finish Gwendolyn's full thing first, right? We'll make it quick now.
I was trying to move on to the next one, but okay. Stay longer in an AKL Animal Kingdom Lodge, Value Studio, or 1/3 of the time in a 1-bedroom at Grand Floridian.
I'd stay as long as I can. I always want to stay as long as I can. That's easy.
Yep. Me too. I'm at the same place.
Me three.
Yeah, I don't mind a Value Studio. In fact, I had a Value Studio booked for my next trip. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I take that back. Sorry, it wasn't Value. It was Parking Lot View. So never mind. Next thing, Pixie Dust Experiences from Allison. Who wants to start on this one?
I'll start. Mine was easy. It was on my birthday. We didn't have a reservation at a place you needed a reservation. They gave me a reservation, and they gave me free dessert. Boom.
Nice. That was good. Go ahead, Ziggy. You want to do yours?
Sure. Yeah, so I've always found on all of our stays, the cast members to be very, very helpful, especially in the resorts. I think it was 2 years ago when we were staying at the beach club. We got into the room and it was just very dirty. It was like it almost hadn't been cleaned at all, and it was the first time that had happened to us before. And so we complained about it, obviously, and so they put us in another room, no problem. And it was almost the same situation. So at that point, we were pretty irritated. But they ended up giving us a whole bunch of free stuff to make up for it, and to show how really sorry they were. I mean, they gave us, I think, fast passes for, I don't know, 4 days in a row. We had 3 extra fast passes each. They gave us a bunch of free credits towards dining that we could use. So they always make up for whatever small errors that they do from time to time. So that was one of the ones that stands out to me.
Nice. I have a similar...
And that's funny, though. Hold on, because that's funny, though, because Ziggy just told us another one, which is almost as good right before the show, so... Right?
What was the other one before
Which
the show?
Which one was that?
Was that during the show? Is the show so long that I forgot that was the beginning of the show? The Riviera. That? Yes, that was actually...
Oh, yeah.
It's just been so long.
I didn't want to repeat myself, so yeah, getting upgraded to a 2-bedroom over that studio.
Oh my goodness, I'm tired already. It's been 30 minutes and I can't even remember the show.
Keep it together, Damon. So mine is definitely my honeymoon. We stayed club level, and when you stayed club level at that point, and I don't know if this is still the case or not, but when we were staying club level on cash, obviously we weren't members yet. We had like a concierge type of thing. So we didn't book anything for ourselves. We sent, emails to the concierge, and they booked all like the special stuff we were doing. And so they had booked a carriage ride at Fort Wilderness, right? And, carriage ride through the woods. And we get there and there's no carriage there. And we're like, what the heck's going on? We have this carriage ride, they sent us an itinerary. We have the time, right? And we had busted ourselves to get there. We were at our dining reservation had taken way longer than we thought. We were at Artist Point before it got switched over, but we were at Artist Point and it took forever, and we just barely got there in time. And so the carriage finally comes like 20 minutes later, and they were like, we don't have a reservation for you. We don't know what you're talking about. And they showed us the paper. Our names weren't on it. And I'm showing them the email of my itinerary, and they're like, what are you talking about? So anyway, I wrote an email to the concierge explaining what happened. The next morning, we had scheduled a private. It wasn't a private safari, but at Animal Kingdom. I don't know if they still do this actually, but it was an early morning safari. It was like a private safari with a small group of people, maybe like 10, 15 people, and one of the zookeepers actually drives you through the safari and tells you facts about the animals, and it's a behind the scenes thing, right? I think it was like over $100 a person. So this thing leaves at 6:00 in the morning. We get down to the lobby at 6:00 in the morning, and the concierge manager, the guy that like manages club level, I don't know what his exact thing was, but he was a higher up person, was standing there waiting for us. And he found us and he said, here's what I'm going to do for you guys. He goes, this tour you're about to go on, this is free. He goes, and then he says, I'm also going to give you, I think it was a $750 room credit. Like literally $750 room credit. And then he said, I'm also going to book you guys, on, he said, I looked at your trip, and he goes, I'll book you on Thursday night, whatever it was, private firework cruise, on not Bay Lake, on, Seven Seas Lagoon to watch the fireworks, which is normally, again, a couple $100. So we got well over $1,000 for that one little snafu. And I think it was partly because it was our honeymoon. They went a little extra overboard because obviously it was, plus we were at club level for that trip. But man, they really did a lot to make up for it. So they gave us 2 free tours, the fireworks private tour, and then like $750. It was nuts how much they gave us for that. So that was my biggest Pixie Dust experience. I mean, it was a screw up, but yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, it really, I mean, it was incredible. It was way more than we expected. I think when he was telling me all this, I think I was just standing there with my mouth open, like, seriously, you're going to do all that? That's crazy. So, okay, so we got Rob here. Rob has top 5 Disney ranks. So top 5 rides, quick service, transportation.
This is too hard.
This one's too hard?
It's just too hard for me.
I think we should just do like top 5 rides or DVC resorts.
Yeah, I could do that. This is too hard for me. Like, I do one of these at a time.
All right.
What does top 5 transportation mean, though?
I mean, there's only, 5 methods of transportation at Disney? So.
Wait, so we're ranking them, I guess?
I guess, yeah.
I guess put them in order or something.
Buses first, because they're the best? No,
what?
Okay, I'm kidding.
Wait, I'm just trying to think. Are there 5? There's boat, monorail, Skyliner, bus.
And walking.
Minivans.
Oh,
minivans and walking, too.
You're right. Walking, I guess, is
transportation.
Walking would be dead last for me.
No, dude, I think walking is better than buses any day of the week. Like, if as long as it's under 2 miles, let me walk. Like, I'm already walking. What does it matter? Just, it's kind of like a runner. Like, you just keep running. Like, I just keep walking. Like, I'd rather just walk. I know when I'm going to get there. I know there's going to be no problems. I don't know. I'm about that.
No, I get it. I get it. Go ahead, Ziggy. Sorry.
Yeah. Now I would go number 1, Skyliner for me. And then the rest of them are kind of, I don't know if I can really put one ahead of the other. I guess I would go monorail, 2, boats, 3. The buses are probably dead last for me. I guess minivan 4 and the buses last because the same thing with Damon. You're always waiting forever for those things, and especially after the park empties out, it's you might as well walk over taking a bus for most of them.
I think my ranking is the exact same as yours. So I think I'm going to say the same as Ziggy's.
Wait, but you still rank walking over buses?
Yep.
Okay.
No, buses over walking.
Buses over walking. Okay.
It depends. It depends. It depends how far it is. I mean, like sometimes the Yacht and Beach Club are usually together with the boardwalk and the Swan and Dolphin, but it always seems like the buses drop you off at the boardwalk first. And so most of the time, even though it's a 5 or 10 minute walk, but we'll get off there first instead of continuing on the bus because it's I don't mind walking either.
I don't mind walking. It just depends how much my feet hurt at that point. If we're like day 5 in the trip and my feet are killing me, I'm not walking an extra 15 minutes to my resort. Like we did that. We walked from Hollywood Studios to Boardwalk, and that walk is nice. It's along the waterway, and it was fine, but my feet were killing me at that point.
Gotta go percussion massager, man. You're all good after that.
I got to do something. I've tried and failed many times to find proper footwear for Disney. So
see, I think I have proper footwear now. So
all right,
that's its own new show. I think you're right. The rest of these are like, dude, Dan's. I probably could spend a whole episode on.
We probably could, yeah. We probably could. So let's. Do we want to do top 5 rides at least, or DVC?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys are going to say about the rides.
Oh, I don't even know. Like, that's what's so tough. I don't even know. Like, rides is tough for me. If I had to go top 5, right? It's top 5 what? Top 5 now? Top 5 of all time? Like, what are we talking?
Let's go all time. I think we should.
Yeah, all time. That's fine.
Ooh, all time. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Number 1, not even a question.
Oof.
Number 2 is Ellen. Number 3.
You can laugh at that, Ziggy. I heard
you can laugh at that. That's
Ellen,
fine.
I heard you.
Come on, man.
I love Ellen. That's number 2 for me. Number 3, probably Rock and Roller Coaster. Okay, so 4, Toy Story Mania. 5, yikes.
Alien Encounter? Is that in there?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for the handoff. Actually, now that you're going to make me switch them, now you reminded me of Alien Encounter. All right, so Alien Encounter has to be above Toy Story Mania for sure. So that brings us to 4. What did I say even 3 was? Rock and Roller Coaster? Yeah, Alien Encounter's over that. So that's 3. It doesn't beat Ellen because I love me the Ellen. So
yeah, I'm
going to say that it goes, so that would be 3 and then just put the other 2. That's a good handoff, Tom. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
We said, because we're not going water parks. I'm going to just exclude water parks.
We're excluding water parks.
Okay, fine. Okay.
I'm going to go number 1 for me is Big Thunder. I've said this many times. That's my favorite ride at the parks. I will ride it 100 times. I love Big Thunder, so that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be Soarin'. Number 3 is going to be, everyone's going to laugh at me, and I don't care, the People Mover. Love the People Mover. Don't know why. It's just a thing for my wife and I. We love the People Mover. Number 4 is going to be 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I'm with you on this, Damon. It's in my top 5. I love that ride. That's another one I remember from childhood. Still very sad it doesn't exist anymore. Although it still kind of does at Disneyland, Damon. So there's something. You can kind of relive it, even though it's Nemo themed.
Why? What's at Disneyland?
They have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
You go under the water?
Yeah, it's Nemo themed, but yeah.
Oh, I'm riding that. Yeah, I'm down with that.
They got that at Disney.
Now he's going.
Yeah. Had I known that, I already would have been there 3 years ago.
Well, they only made that transformation to Nemo. I mean, it wasn't recent, but it wasn't that long ago. So, I mean, it's still essentially the same ride. It's just now Finding Nemo themed. And then number 5, where was I? Oh my gosh. I totally forgot what I was going to do. Jungle Cruise. Done. Ziggy, go ahead. You're up.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna base it on all time, but my list at the moment is gonna be totally different because I have Rise of Resistance at number 1 right now and
neither one of us have been on that yet, so we can't judge.
Oh man, yeah. To me, that's the most incredible ride they've ever made, hands down. So I would at the moment, but as far as my all time, just which ones I love, I'm not gonna put that at number 1. I'm gonna say 5. I'll do Flight of Passage, number 5.
I totally forgot about that ride.
Yeah.
That's up there. That's 6.
Yeah.
See, I don't like that ride, so for me, that's fine.
Oh man, how do you not like that ride? What don't you like about it?
He likes Navi River Journey better.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, Flight of Passage is a video. I can just go put my Oculus on right now, and that's the same thing. My Oculus might even be better.
Oh,
that's how honestly, that's how I feel about that, Ziggy. It's just
Seriously?
a video game to me, and I just don't care for it. I'll go on it, but it doesn't.
Man,
it doesn't move me.
It gets my heart racing every time I'm on it. It makes me feel like I'm really flying. I don't know.
I'm with you, Ziggy. I'm with you. Trust me.
Too cartoony for me.
You got to go with my wife because my wife, she screams the whole time, and you'll feel like you're riding something.
That makes it better.
No, so yeah, I'm gonna do Flight of Passage number 5. Then I'll go. Man, I think I'll go Rise of Resistance for number 4, just as my all-time list, because the other ones the next 3 I have more nostalgia towards. Number 3, I'll do Tower of Terror, because that's awesome. I remember the first time I went on it back in '95 as a little kid, and to me that was amazing. And that version in Walt Disney World is still the best to me. Then number 2, I'm gonna go Splash Mountain. Again, that's a classic. I could go on that all day long, unless it's December or something. But it's an awesome ride for almost any season. And number 1, it has to be Pirates. And you give me any form of Pirates in any park, and I'll do that all day long. Pirates is amazing to me.
I like it. All right, so let's say of the topics that we still have here, let's pick one more because we do
really.
Have a lot
I'm tired already. Can't we?
We got a lot of other stuff to talk about, though.
I want to make sure I talk about the Endor stuff. So let's table those.
Do you want to do one more before we get there? Or do you want
No, I don't. Okay. I don't. I want to listen to what we're going to do is we're going to make Ziggy come back. We're going to make him stay up again until 12:30 for, another episode.
And we'll do
and then we're going to do more of these. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good because there's a lot of them that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, if you have me back again, we can do it.
We'll definitely have you back.
Let's see if we can do one more here in 2 minutes.
Oh,
so which one did you really want to talk about as the guest, Ziggy? You could pick one more.
Let me see. How about the one about the movies? Which movie doesn't have a ride in Disney World, and which would it
fit?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say since Disney now owns Alien, I'm gonna say they resurrect the Alien Encounter ride and put it in Hollywood Studios. That's mine.
Oh man,
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it already had a. I don't know if that counts.
No, it didn't because it wasn't the alien from Alien, right? So, and initially the plans were to use that alien, and then they didn't. It was I forget what it's called, xenomorph, right? They were going to use that, but then they couldn't use it for whatever reason, and now they can.
Lame.
I would go on it. Tom.
I mean, I would go on it, but that's lame.
All right. Well, okay. Well, let's hear yours then.
I don't even know. What movie?
You want a Gravity Falls ride? Is what you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, that would be kind of cool. Actually, I don't even need a ride per se, but the Mystery Shack, all done up,
just the shack
as a walkthrough, kind of like Swiss Family Robinson. That's what they do. Just redo Swiss Family Robinson Mystery Shack, But that's not a movie.
That'd be
That's
cool.
the thing. So they said Disney movies, so that doesn't really count.
I took it as Disney property.
No, I think we have to go movies here, and that one becomes tougher for me then if you're telling me what Disney movie. I mean, does the DuckTales movie count?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's a Disney
All right,
movie.
The lamp one. All right, I'm in on that Disney movie, and I don't know. Let me see what the ride is. So, I mean, Scrooge's Money Bin, obviously, is set to the Gringotts, right? So kind of the same thing as Gringotts over in Universal, but DuckTales.
All right, that's cool.
So as I was thinking about it, there's a lot of actually Disney properties that don't have rides. I don't know if they meant an attraction, because something like Beauty and the Beast doesn't have an actual ride in Disney World.
That's a fair point, actually. Yeah.
And I was like, how is that possible? And also I was thinking about it, the Lion King, they don't have a ride either. So the Princess and the Frog, Tangled, there's a bunch of them. So if I was going to choose one of them, I would go for a Lion King attraction, maybe some kind of a dark ride. Put it over in Animal Kingdom, obviously. I think that would be a good fit for it. Because I mean, it's like that's maybe it's one of the biggest Disney movies of all time, and there's no ride for it. How is that even possible?
It's a good point, Ziggy. Never really thought about that. Yeah, I mean, the show is awesome that they have at Animal Kingdom, but
yeah, everything else. The Lion King is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to move on to some other things. Before we do that, though, Damon and I actually did an interview here. I don't know, Damon, you want to introduce this interview? This is your guy here, so.
Yeah, so actually this was an interesting one that kind of came way to me from my website, so bsckids.com, if Tom's going to let me plug that. Appreciate that, Tom.
I'm going to edit that out.
Yeah. Anyway, so they kind of wanted to do an interview about this awesome pirate ship playground. And then when I saw that it was at Hilton Head, I said, oh, this actually makes sense for us over here at the podcast because it is going to be close to the Disney resort that exists in Hilton Head. So this is a huge, huge playground with a pirate ship based on the history of the island that just is unreal. So we were able to speak with Scott about that. And I thought it was a great little interview.
Yeah, great. So take a listen to our interview right now.
We have Scott Rushy, who's the creative director at Landscape Structures. And actually, this is so much fun for me because he's going to tell us about this wonderful new ship playground that's arriving to Hilton Head. So, Scott, if you want to say hello and let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Damon. Really excited to be talking to everyone this evening today. We're in the process of installing a really amazing destination playground in Hilton Head with a really fun theme. And so I'm really excited to get to share a little bit of the story around that project.
Wonderful. So this is interesting for our audience because, again, while this is not part of Disney, it is by the Disney DVC resort that's in Hilton Head. And for a little bit of background on myself, I've been going to Hilton Head at least once or twice a year for the past 18 years. And it's probably one of my favorite places to stay. Probably more so than Tom. Can I always say it's more so than Disney? I guess I'm gonna have to say it. My kids grew up in Hilton.
I mean, you
Head
can say that if you want to. It's blasphemy, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, my kids grew up in Hilton Head, so we're very familiar with the area. And when I saw this come across, it's going to be at Coligny Beach Park, right? So, and it's this huge playground that's going to have a ship, which is, nice because it gives us a little bit of history with Hilton Head Island. So, the one thing that stood out to me right away is the ship is going to be huge. It's 1,400 square foot and it's got 29-foot sails. Like, how did this all come about?
So it was a really wonderful experience that we had with the mayor of Hilton Head that came to us with the idea of being able to replicate Hilton's first ship that arrived at Hilton Head Island. And we were just so excited about the idea of being able to create this playground experience that is so much like what the original ship was that brought the founding members of Hilton Head to Hilton Head. And the playground is actually just slightly wider than the real ship was at the time. So it's super exciting to see how all of that has come about.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it does look super cool. So, how many kids can be on this at once?
Oh,
have you gotten to that number yet?
A playground this size, the ship itself being about 1,400 square feet, like you said, can hold dozens and dozens, hundreds of kids really at a time, because there are so many levels to the ship. There's the deck level, there's the under in the bow of the ship, even being able to climb into one of the crow's nests allows for so much activity happening at all times throughout the entire ship itself.
So, the pictures are amazing. Like I said, this structure does look absolutely stunning. But what would be the one thing that you would say for you? What is the one wow factor of the ship outside of the size, of course? But what's the one thing that that you're super proud of that, it's kind of a little bit different than things you've seen other places?
Two things, probably. One, the fact that the sails are as high as they are, and that we're using a fabric that's similar to an actual sail. So during any kind of wind, you're going to get the feeling that we're actually moving because the sails are going to physically be moving. But the real key fun elements are really focused around the rope play that allows you to go some really challenging routes to go from the deck of the ship down into the ship. It's really super exciting and very playful and very challenging.
Oh, no, definitely. I can understand. There's also going to be some cannons that shoot out some cool mist water as well.
That's right. Yeah, that's one of the big surprises. I think a lot of people aren't expecting that water and misting water being integrated into a playground is something that's fairly new. Really has only ever been done more as a cooling effect, but this is more of an animated, I get to fire this really fun mist of spray out of the cannons to my friends or my siblings.
Oh, okay. And what does the outside of the playground look like in terms of what is the ground covering going to be outside of the ship?
So because we wanted to make the ship and the entire playground itself very accessible, and it's actually delayed the final installation of the project, is we're using what's called a unitary surfacing, which is surfacing that allows for children of all abilities, whether they're in a mobility device or use a mobility device. It's going to be a smooth surface that even replicates water running through the ship itself. Okay. And so visually you're going to have that experience, but you're really going to get a lot of being able to move anywhere around the ship, regardless of your ability. So the youngest to the oldest, we really anticipate a destination playground like this to have parents playing on it, not just children, grandparents being able to interact with their grandchildren. It really is going to be quite a destination and in a beautiful location too.
Yes, that is a great location on the island. Now, what about for the lazy parents like myself that, it's our third kid, we're a little tired and, we can't maybe do the playground because, we'd rather just sit and relax. What is it going to look like outside of the ship in terms for us lazy parents?
Sure. There's going to be a lot of areas for seating integrated throughout the space. There's other zones like swinging zones where kids can go and swing, and there's lots of different benches to be able to move throughout the space and relax while you watch the kids play. Because we know not every parent is going to want to be running around on the ship or in the smaller areas or swinging on the swings themselves.
Yeah, first two children, yeah, definitely. Third child for me,
I'm going to be up there spraying the water cannon at yeah. So that's what I'll be doing. So,
and this is definitely a destination sort of thing. So, for all the people that will be at the Disney Resort, this is something that you do not want to miss. We've posted some pictures of the renderings, and it is really just awe-inspiring. It's a destination, is what it is. I think that people will want to go here just to see this ship. I know that's one of the things for me is that, we've done mostly everything we want to do in Hilton Head, but now that this is coming, it's kind of like, oh, wow, okay, right? You do this, you do a little bit of legendary golf, and, you got a day in front of you.
Absolutely.
I would be interested to know when it's going to be completed, or if it's already completed. Is this something that's coming soon, or is it already done?
So it's coming soon. It should be complete with all of the surfacing, hopefully by midsummer. It may get pushed a little bit just because of what we're experiencing in general in the world. However, everything is there. The installation of the playground itself is almost fully 100% complete and should be done, like I said, July, potentially August at the latest, is what we're looking at for an opening for the project.
So actually, you know what? I do have one more question though. This Sway Fun glider.
Yes.
What's that about?
So it's an innovation that we created almost a decade ago that allows for children who maybe are in a wheelchair that cannot actually get out of a wheelchair, that can roll onto what looks like a small boat off the side of the ship that allows them to experience a rocking motion. So it feels very much as if you're in a small boat right next to the ship. So it's a really fun experience that children of all abilities and parents actually, if you want a place to go and relax while the kids are playing, this is the spot because it's like a giant rocker.
Oh, okay. I like that.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Again, we're going to have to post pictures of this, and hopefully, Scott, you can follow up with us and see real live pictures of it before we get down there. I don't know when I'll actually be making it down to Hilton Head. We might not be down there until September, so this would be something that I'm sure our audience would love to see. How many people actually are involved on this project from your side?
Oh my gosh. On a project of this scale, so we consider this a destination playground. And when you have elements that are this big, you end up with, you have designers, engineers, our manufacturing cell that is focused on building this. So we've actually built the ship one time already indoors in Minnesota before the ship made it to Hilton Head, which is incredible to think about. So we've probably had 70 to 100 people that have physically touched some element of this project.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So that's actually, I think, all I had. Tom, is there anything else that you wanted to ask?
You covered it all. It's a really neat project, and I appreciate you coming on here to talk to us about it. When we shared the pictures, a lot of people were really excited for it. So
yeah. we're really excited, and it's funny because we were very inspired by a lot of Captain Jack and a lot of the pirates that really helped us develop some of the play experiences, thinking about some of what happens in the movies and how can we almost make some of that and simulate some of that on the playground itself. So, it's been kind of a fun piece to see really come to life.
Wonderful.
You can definitely see that influence in the pictures for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Like I said, we're definitely going to visit it when we go to Hilton Head, and I'm going to be like, hey, I talked to Scott.
I love it. I'm excited to hear what your family thinks of it. It's a very special project, and we're excited to see it get in and get open.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm excited about this pirate ship.
I'm definitely going to go see it.
Yeah, you have to check it out, right? It's super cool.
Yeah, it definitely.
He sent us some cool pictures of it, too, so I'll have to post those along with the episode.
Yeah, I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, especially in terms of a playground. It's almost Disney-esque, let's say.
It is. I think it's the closest thing you can get to an Imagineer-designed playground that I think I've ever seen. So, it's very cool. So with that said, we're going to do our ad for our sponsor, our fantastic sponsor right now, and then we'll get into some more things that are non-listener suggested topics. We do have some news topics that are not necessarily related to the current state of the parks, but maybe some things that could have been or some other funny things that are out there. So let's talk DVC Rental Store. Are you a frequent Disney visitor and want to save hundreds, even thousands on your next Disney trip? The DVC Rental Store wants to help you book your dream vacation for less. DVC members, great news for you. Want to rent your points out for some quick cash? DVC Rental Store wants to work with you, and they are currently renting out points at a record pace. For years, the DVC Rental Store has been helping guests stay at Disney Deluxe resorts at an affordable price, while also paying members the highest price for their points. So if you want to learn more, go to dvcrentalstore.com or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 1-855-382-7368. Of course, please let them know that Welcome Home sent you, that you heard about them from Welcome Home. They love to hear that feedback, and so do we. So please let them know if you do reach out to them. Again, that's dvcrentalstore.com or 1-855-DVC-RENT. All right, gentlemen.
We need a clapping sound after that, I feel like, though. Yeah.
There's my sound effect. It's me clapping in the microphone.
Yeah.
Clapping because of how well I read that, or clapping because of how great they are?
If I say both, does that make you feel good?
It does.
Okay, then we'll say both.
Okay,
so
cool.
This is tough because I want to talk about this next topic, but we cannot forget about number 9, because I will be remiss if we don't talk about that.
About the last topic? Oh no,
yes,
I got to save that for last because it's too funny not to.
No, I agree, but we can't miss out on that.
No. We won't miss talking about that. Okay. So, anybody else want to read this? I feel like I've been reading.
No,
somebody.
I don't.
Okay, well,
you go for it.
Okay. So in a recent interview, the former vice president of Walt Disney World, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name correctly, confirmed some longstanding rumors that the original concept for a Star Wars themed land was to include Tatooine and more from the original Star Wars trilogy. So there apparently was going to be a version.
Wait, you missed the Tatooine. Great, the Endor. Endor.
I was getting there.
No, you lead with Endor. You always lead with Endor.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
So Endor was supposed to be in there as well. There was going to be the cantina. There was going to be a new version of the training academy. This was going to actually extend. Yeah, wait. There it is too. There was plans for the Forest Moon Endor, and there was a speeder bike thrill ride, which was supposed to be part of this too, which sounds really cool, right? I'm wondering, is that like a roller coaster maybe? With
like
just
Tron, maybe it was like Tron.
That's what I'm thinking, like the speeder bike, you sit on it and it's a roller coaster. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Now, the one thing that does bother me about this, okay, is that this land was going to be built over the Echo Lake section of the park, which is where Gertie the dinosaur is. Gertie the dinosaur. What's that?
I don't care. I don't even know what Gertie the dinosaur is.
It's the big giant dinosaur in the middle of Hollywood Studios. It's Thank you, Ziggy, for laughing at that.
Go.
Thank you, Ziggy.
Go. Build it right over the top of Gertie. Extinction.
Poor Gertie.
Extinction.
Come on, Gertie's the classic, man. Gertie is like that's
you know what
icon.
Gertie reminds me of is that horrible place to eat, which I didn't like.
Which horrible place to eat?
What is it? The 50s Cafe or whatever that is.
50s Primetime? You don't like that place?
No.
Well, you just said it was okay. You said you weren't,
Yeah, again, the what's it called wasn't bad. Did I have meatloaf? Did I have meatloaf turkey or something? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's meatloaf. But anyway, so this was going to encompass that whole area, which means it was also going to encompass Star Tours. So that was going to be part of the land there too. So I think this is really interesting. I don't know if I prefer it this way. It sounds like you do, Damon.
Endor? Yeah, I prefer Endor over what we have now, for sure.
I don't know. Ziggy, are you a big Star Wars guy? I'm not sure if I know this.
I am a big Star Wars guy, yeah. This is a tough one for me because I really, really like Galaxy's Edge, and I think they did an awesome job with it. Especially, you guys have to go on Rise of Resistance because that will blow you away, and I can't imagine anything that they had planned was going to be better than what Rise of Resistance turned out to be. But that being said, I think I would have rather preferred a land based on something in the film that we know already, because that's just really cool when you see it on film and then you get to step into a live set that looks just like that. To me, Endor would have been awesome, or even, I don't know, even something like Hoth I would have loved.
Hoth would have been cool, but yeah. See, look at the rest of this. So Jabba's palace dinner show. I mean, that's fire. And
they
then
had like a huge Jabba puppet in the middle of it. I said Jabba puppet in the middle.
A big coffee puppet.
A big coffee puppet. But if they had like a huge puppet in the middle of the rest, that would be cool.
Not only that, but you're talking about a dark ride explaining the secrets and lore of the Jedi and Sith. Like, that just goes way over the top, and that just would totally seal the deal. right there.
No, that does sound amazing. That does sound amazing. But I will remind you that Galaxy's Edge also did have some kind of a dinner show planned too. So this one probably would have got canceled, like the one that was planned for Galaxy's Edge would have too. But I mean,
yeah,
they both would be awesome. I mean,
Ewoks rolling around.
The Ewoks doesn't sell it for me. The Ewoks makes it. I like Galaxy's Edge better if you're gonna give me the Ewoks.
Oh no, definitely not. I love the Ewoks. That would sell it for me. Hey, you know what I did see though is I saw what's the Secret Disney group? That's what, Chris Martin.
Yeah.
So he asked an interesting question, and it was, gosh darn it! Now I just forgot, and now I wanted to talk about what it was, and now I forgot.
Let me ask. I want to ask Ziggy. Ziggy, are you gonna try to be like day one at the Star Wars Hotel when it opens? Are you like really digging that?
Definitely, yeah. If I can, I'll be in there.
Me and Ziggy are going together.
That's fine. We can split it because it's going to be like $10,000 or something.
Well, again, I'm hoping that the plans for that are now pushed back past vaccine. Right in my head, I have this line drawn. And it's the vaccine line, right? So I'm hoping the hotel doesn't open prior to vaccine line, because then I probably wouldn't go. But if it's post-vaccine line, I'm there. I'm there the first week. All right, so now I remembered what the question was. Here's the big question. Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars weekend.
Like, which one would you rather have?
Yep. Now, if you haven't been to Star Wars weekend, you're not even allowed to answer, Tom.
I haven't, so I can't answer, I guess.
Ziggy?
But what do you mean, like a permanent Star Wars weekend, or just having it once a year?
So let's go. Let's make this. Let's make this. I can't even do it that way because that wouldn't even be fair. Let's say permanent Star Wars weekend. Permanent Star Wars weekend or Galaxy's Edge.
No, I'll still take Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because what did you like about? I mean, Star Wars weekend is cool, but I don't know. You like it better than having two attractions?
Yeah, I kind of did. Like, that parade was just ridiculous. Like, that parade was worth the price of admission in general. And Ziggy, you probably don't know my Star Wars weekend story. And this happened to me at Harry Potter as well. So the Star Wars weekend stories, I had no idea. I was like, Star Wars weekend, I didn't even know what that was. So we're in Hollywood Studios and we're like, oh, that's kind of cool parade. We'll see what this is. And then we were like, oh my goodness, like, wow. Like, that parade was unreal. I don't know. I like Star Wars weekend. I thought just that whole, more characters being around more often. I mean, maybe we're going to get that in Galaxy's Edge at some point, but the amount of characters.
Yeah, that's why the this theorized land that never got built, based on the old movies, that why it would have been really cool. I would have liked to see more characters involved from the movies that we know than what's currently there right now. I agree with you on that point. There should be more characters. I just
don't think in general, even if you're going to give me characters from the new movies, there's just not enough of them there to make that feel real. When you were, even though it was crowded for that parade, like when you saw all those characters, I mean, there were some weird Star Wars characters in those parades. It was just, it felt like more overwhelming. And that sounds crazy because the way that the land is built. But to me, that's just kind of how it felt.
Well, it's interesting to me because they say that a good idea never dies at Imagineering. What if someday they decide to expand Galaxy's Edge, but instead of building Galaxy's Edge stuff, they decide to build these other lands next to them?
They're not. Well, I mean, that would be wonderful, but I don't see them doing that, especially with new movies coming out. So with new movies coming out,
I don't disagree. I'm just saying you never know. It could happen.
Yeah, you're saying in Hollywood Studios or in other parks?
Yeah, as like an expansion, they start building lands around Galaxy's Edge and build these originally planned lands.
But that's not what. Yeah, I mean, Tom, I would be okay with. I would love that, right? It would be more than okay with that. But it's so unfeasible with the way that Disney and money business works.
Oh, well, no,
yes,
you're not wrong.
I would be on board with that. That would be great. But it's dead in my head already. If that's what you're asking.
I'm theorizing. I'm throwing it out there. Would you be psyched if they brought this back? Because there was also talk. There was talk that they were still gonna do the speeder bike ride. That's still on the table. That's something they could still make happen. I remember reading something about that.
Was there speeder bikes in the new? Well,
there is in the Mandalorian, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe the Mandalorian.
Yep. Yeah, they have him in Mandalorian, so...
and I refuse to even talk about this next thing. I can't believe you even have this written down.
I have it in there as a ridiculous thing. It's the baby. They're making Baby Yoda cereal.
So I didn't know about that, and I showed my wife before the show, and her reaction was, "Oh, I want that. I need to eat Baby Yoda cereal." She's all for it.
I used to run a cereal site.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, so I thought you might be into this, honestly, but
they don't even look. They look like corn pops.
They basically look to me like they're Lucky Charms with Baby Yodas as the marshmallows.
Wait, that's what you see?
What's wrong with that?
I didn't really look at it that hard, so I'm just saying.
No, they don't look like that at all. It looks like corn pops.
I mean, maybe that. Yeah, I didn't look at that part of the cereal. I was just looking at the Baby Yoda marshmallows.
I'm looking at this link you sent, and I don't even really see the Baby Yoda marshmallows. I see this bowl of corn pops.
Yeah. You're right. It's hard to see. They're just barely green.
The execution wasn't done very well, but the idea is good.
Yeah, the idea is good. I just put it in there because I thought it was funny that they're making it
amusing. It's definitely amusing.
Yeah. So there's another thing on here of what could have been. For some reason, this guy Dan that was the Walt Disney World Vice President is talking about all these things that could have been, and we've actually talked about this before. I feel like, or I
think we have.
Yeah, but this is confirmation. Essentially, this was supposed to be an expansion, though. I've been saying for a while that if they redo Rock and Roller Coaster, that they could do it as a door chase roller coaster themed to Monsters Inc., which I still kind of think they might do someday. And I think Ziggy, I feel like you've had this on your site before too. I might be making that up, but
now you're making stuff up for Ziggy. Wow.
I think I probably have talked about it. Yeah, because it's been rumored for 10 years or something, or maybe more.
Well, now it's confirmed that it was supposed to happen, but instead they decided to put more kid-friendly things in Hollywood studios. And this was originally supposed to go in Soundstage 1, which actually became a third track for Midway Mania. So it's interesting. I'm wondering, though, do we still want to see the door coaster? I mean, obviously, listen, Aerosmith is not going to age forever. I mean, the kids now even know who Aerosmith is.
I don't know. It's loud, though. Kids enjoy loud. I have no interest in that or this. I'm not a big Monsters, Inc. fan in general.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I would love it. I think it would be cool. I don't know if I would want it to replace Rock and Roller Coaster or not. To me, the area of the park that could use a facelift would be where the launch bay is. That whole area you can take out now and put something else, in my opinion,
or
over
you
there.
Could bring back all the Star Wars characters, right? See, I don't know why they don't do that. It must be just a money thing, because you have all those costumes and all those characters. Imagine if the launch bay had all the characters from Star Wars Weekend.
Well, wait, did they close Launch Bay officially? Did we talk about that?
I haven't heard that.
Because I don't think you can do. Can you still do character greetings there? I don't know.
Yeah, as far as the last time I was there, they were doing them.
But it's only. Oh yeah, you're right. When I was there in October, they were still doing it, even though Galaxy's Edge was open. So I don't know.
But the Jawa's not there anymore, right?
I don't.
Jawa was awesome.
I don't. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But why? That's what I'm saying. Like, you have the Jawa costumes, right? You have all these super cool bounty hunter costumes and all this. Like, why can't they just be there? I guess it's just a money thing. So.
Yeah,
probably
it's money, and people budget.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Ziggy, like me and Tom were talking about this, and Trevor before, like, well, I don't know, not everyone loves Star Wars.
It's true, yeah. A lot of people are actually happy that there's a lot of the Star Wars is in one area of the park and they can just avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, to me, they should just take out that whole section where the launch bay is, because Star Wars can be over in Galaxy's Edge now, and then replace this area with something else, with monsters or with another property, cars. I don't know. You can put almost anything in there. Something Pixar related would probably make sense. But that, to me, that whole area is a waste of space.
I think it would be kind of cool, especially if they could make it so that there's like a door in front of you on the coaster, like so you could, actually feel, or even like doors in between the cars.
We're still talking about this Monsters Inc. thing? Still?
Yeah, we're still talking about the Monsters Inc. thing.
I thought maybe I passed out when I choked on my body armor or something. Okay, go ahead.
Are you not interested in this anymore? I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's kind of cool. But I wish they would do something like this. At the same time, though, I also understand, Hollywood Studios doesn't have a ton of really kid-friendly stuff, like young kids, like my daughter.
But isn't that what it's made for? So think about it, right?
Sure.
For me personally, I don't even have young kids anymore. But at the end of the day, if you're telling me that I can kind of avoid a park because it's not for young kids, like that's actually great rather than putting these all over different parks and making it harder for me.
So you're arguing for just having a park that's like all thrill rides that's not in any way for kids, and then you could just avoid that park.
Well, I wouldn't avoid it, but yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me personally, I'd want to go to all the parks regardless of how they're set up. But
think about it. If you could get a day back, like let's just say that's not you and you don't travel and, 3 times a year or 2 times a year, like wouldn't that be a good solution?
It's not a terrible idea. I think it's probably a terrible business idea for Disney.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
Like they want everyone to go to every park, right? So, but yeah, no, I don't think it's a bad idea in the way that it could be cool if they just had a park that was all thrill rides, right? So what would you want to see Rock and Roller Coaster turn into? I
like it.
But it can't be Aerosmith forever. Kids don't know Aerosmith.
It could be. Don't say it can't be, because it could be.
You're saying they're just going to keep it that way forever?
Yep.
Long after Aerosmith is gone?
Because then all of a sudden it becomes,
That's actually true. Then it would become kind of nostalgic and like cooler, right?
I don't think they will, but I mean, I'm okay if they did. Let's put it that way.
If you're okay if they kept it that way forever.
We can't even talk about the next thing because the best Hercules was the show with my man Kevin. So it's not even worth it to talk about a live action Disney Hercules.
So they're making a live action Hercules, and the Russo brothers. If you don't know who the Russo brothers are, they did a lot of the Marvel movies, including the Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. So their production company is producing a live action of Hercules. I think the thing I want to talk about is who do you think should be in the main role?
Kevin Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo's old. Hercules has got to be young.
Kevin Sorbo.
That's crazy.
He's the only one that can ever be in the role.
I think The Rock should be Zeus personally, but
that would be good.
We lost Ziggy.
Yeah, sorry. I think my headphones died.
No, it's okay. We were just talking about, we moved on to the Hercules remake. Unless you had any idea of how you could get rid of Aerosmith and retheme the whole Rock and Roller Coaster ride.
Yeah, I have no idea. That if they're not going to do the monsters, then I don't know what. I think it has to be replaced eventually because I think Aerosmith is a little bit outdated for kids today. But what they can do with it, I think it would be good if they could use something Marvel related. But at this, they can't really. So
they really can't, unless they get the rights to it back at some point, right?
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah, if they could ever make that happen. So we were talking about the Hercules remake, the live action Hercules remake, and speculating on who should be casted in the main roles.
The Mountain.
The Mountain, what? It's like Zeus?
From Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
But as Hercules?
As Hercules, yeah.
No, he can't be. No.
He's too big. He can't move.
Yeah, he's way too big for that.
What about Jason Momoa?
Okay, I could see it. He's still pretty big, though, right? You need a scrawny
Hercules
person.
Is big, dude.
What's that? I know, Hercules, but at first he's scrawny, though. At first he's scrawny. So they got to do like that Captain America thing they did in the first movie where they make him look tiny and scrawny, and then he's big and jacked at the end, right?
I mean, because you're basing it off of the cartoon, right? Is that why you're saying it so much?
We're basing it off the original. Although I did read another article that said that they're not necessarily going to stick to remaking the original, that they're going to kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, the skinny Hercules is stupid. Like, it's no, just he's big and that he's big and that's it. So I don't really care for Jason Momoa. So I'd rather see the Mountain. There you go. That's me.
I just feel like the Mountain's too big.
Hercules is the strongest person, right, in the world? Like,
yeah, but he's also got to be like, I feel like the Mountain is like so big that he like can barely walk and move. Like Hercules got to be nimble and quick and young also. The Mountain's not young.
Yeah, but he's sparred with Conor McGregor. Like he can move around. He's all right.
All right. Ziggy, you're going to say something, Zig?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the young, that kind of threw me off because I was gonna say, what about somebody like The Rock?
He's old too.
But I was saying The Rock for Zeus as opposed to Hercules. Because he's older, right? So he's a little bit older now. Not that he's, but I could see him playing Hercules' father. But like, what about like, maybe I was thinking somebody younger that's like jacked, like a Zac Efron or You know.
Did you just say Zac Efron?
I did say Zac Efron.
How old is Zac Efron now?
He's like in his 30s, maybe. I think that fits. No, you want somebody younger?
I don't know.
I've heard floated like Anna Kendrick for the Meg role. I think that's good.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know who you cast as Hades. I'm trying to think. I mean,
oh, you know who rocked Hades is the dude that did it in Descendants. I'm not gonna lie, he definitely rocked it.
Who did it in Descendants? You know,
I have to look it up. Who was that? Whoever it was is. No, I might. No, I don't even know. I'd have to actually know how to use the web, I guess.
Oh, you have to know how to use the internet. Okay. Ziggy, were you going to say something? Sorry.
I have the perfect one for Hades. What about Tom Hiddleston? Loki.
Oh, you know what? I like it. You know, it's funny that you say that because it almost would be funny if he was Hades and then you got Chris Hemsworth to be Hercules. It'd be kind of funny.
That would be kind of funny. Cheyenne Jackson. Again, I'm sure you guys aren't big Descendants fans, but in fact, I had to watch it like 30 times. I'm going to tell you, he rocks the house with his Hades.
Okay.
Because the thing is, he rocks the house with his Hades because it's just, he's funny too. Like, it definitely works. So I would say that's who I would want at least for Hades.
Interesting. I'll have to look that up now. My daughter's not of the age of Descendants yet, so we're not there yet. But someday, I'm sure we'll be into Descendants, right? All right. Well, anything else with this you guys want to talk about, or you want to move on to this last topic?
This last thing for sure
that we teased earlier. What's that, Ziggy? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, let's do the last one.
So I love this story. I think it's amazing. Florida man faces trespassing charges after camping on former Discovery Island in Walt Disney World. So for those that don't know what Discovery Island is, there's an island that's in Bay Lake that used to be kind of like almost like a mini Animal Kingdom. It was very mini because it's just a little island in the lake, but it had like animal exhibits and stuff like that. And Disney straight up abandoned it. After they closed it, they just left it. And so there's buildings still there. When I took that boat tour on my honeymoon, actually, they took us on a tour around Bay Lake and around Seven Seas Lagoon. And the guy pointed out a whole bunch of stuff to us, including Discovery Island. He was like, that's Discovery Island. And you could see some of the structures still there. Well, this guy decided that he was going to go camping on Discovery Island. So he just decided to go over there and go camping. Apparently he was sleeping, in one of the buildings and they were trying to reach him. He described the island as a tropical paradise. So I don't know what you guys think about this, but I think this is a pretty hilarious story.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't read all the details on it. I saw the headline and I read when it first came out and I read just a brief story, but how did he even get there? Like, how did he get onto Disney property right now? Like, isn't that area closed off, first of all? And then what did he have? Did he have like a raft with him or something that he took over there? Like, how did he do it?
I didn't see that detail anywhere, Ziggy. That's a good point. Did he swim over there? Because, it's well documented. There's alligators in there. There's snakes. There's all sorts of things in that lake. You don't really want to swim in that lake.
But some people don't care about that stuff.
I mean, would you swim? Some people, you're right, don't.
I wouldn't, but no, some people don't care about that. I mean, I think that's awesome, though. I mean, I can't even lie because I think it's really cool.
That he did this?
Yeah, like I would. Again, if there was, no legalities involved, I think that this is pretty awesome. But then it kind of makes me think about where else would I want to camp?
Yeah.
I'd camp River Country, Haunted River Country for sure. I'd camp the heck out of that place.
You can't anymore. It's gone, though. It's gone. You can't do it.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Well, would you? Okay, well, you could camp in the middle of the original Ellen if you wanted to. Would you do that?
But what's still left in there? It's all gone, right?
Well, yeah, it's all gone now. So, but I mean, back when it was in its heyday, would you have camped in there?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'd rather, if you're talking about I can go back and camp anywhere, then I'm camping in River Country.
Fair enough. All right, Ziggy, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I know he got banned, but is that like a lifetime ban?
It's got to be.
I would
think it's a lifetime ban. Yeah.
How do they enforce that? I've always wondered how they enforce these lifetime bans.
Because you got to buy tickets, and once you buy tickets,
I mean, couldn't you just use a different name? It's not like you're giving them your social,
Yeah, you technically could,
right? I always wondered that. Like, how do they know? Like, can't you just,
maybe Disney has like face recognition stuff running and we just don't know.
They probably do. They secretly probably do.
I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure that's coming to the turnstiles soon.
Oh yeah, you're probably right about that. Replacing the fingerprint with face recognition. They kind of already do that when your fingerprint doesn't work, right?
Well, they have a picture. That's not necessarily face recognition.
Well, we don't know what they're doing with that picture.
I mean, that is true.
But it is interesting. I'm trying to think of where I want to camp out.
What about Tom Sawyer's Island?
That would be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
I wonder if
Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, Galaxy's Edge would be cool too.
Galaxy's Edge would be cool.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool to camp there.
I wonder if anybody's ever tried to sleep over the night in river country, like just kind of hang back and duck away in one of those caves or something.
I'm almost wondering, like, has anybody done that on Tom Sawyer Island, right? Because you could just hang there. Listen, first of all, let me say this on the front end. We are not encouraging anybody to break into Disney property and camp overnight, especially while they're closed down like this. So do not do it. We are not encouraging you to do that.
Tom says especially because they're closed down.
Yeah, do not blame us for this. We're not encouraging this behavior, okay? Because we know there's a lot of videos, and you can go look at this on YouTube if you feel like it. There are people that have gone to Discovery Island and explored Discovery Island. Yeah, and River Country too. Yeah, both of them, right? Mm-hmm. So you can watch videos of people that have decided to, break the law and go and check out some of these abandoned areas. But yeah, so don't do it, please. But Tom Sawyer Island, I think, would be pretty cool. What about Pandora? Pandora would be cool. Remember they had that promotion going a while ago where they were offering to camp in Pandora?
Nah, I don't care about Pandora.
That's what I'm saying, right? You wake up and the bioluminescent lights are on.
I really hope that the new movies do something for that area.
I thought you liked it. Yeah.
It's cool, but I hope that it kind of gets... You know what it is, actually, for me? It has nothing to do with anything other than it's just too small.
Really? You feel like it's small? I feel like it's pretty big.
No, I feel like it's just a little too small, and that kind of annoys me.
I mean, it's because you're comparing it to Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is so much bigger and so much more walking space than Pandora.
I felt that I felt that way, Ziggy, though, right when Pandora opened. I kind of felt a little disappointed because you go over there and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, that's it. All right, we're done. Like, I don't know.
There is one more pad though for an expansion. So I would imagine at some point with the new movies, if they are a hit, then they'll probably put in another ride. So you might get a little bit more.
I think that would make me happy. Yeah, I think my hate for Pandora is more of just the size than what's actually going on there. Because actually, it's one of my favorite quick services is over there. I love it.
I was going to say, would you camp there if they kept Satuli Canteen open all night for you? You could just go get a late night snack, like 1 o'clock in the morning, go get one of those bowls.
Yeah, I definitely would do that.
Pods, the cheeseburger pods.
Yeah, exactly. You get one of those burger pods. Have you done the burger pods there, Damon?
I don't eat beef.
That's right. I don't either. So, yeah. But I think they have vegetarian pods too.
Yeah, they do.
They got mushrooms in them? I don't do mushrooms. They might have mushrooms in them. That's why.
I'm not sure. Ziggy, have you done the pods there? The
I haven't had the vegetarian ones though. I'm definitely a carnivore. No, so I've had those ones, but I haven't had the vegetarian ones now. But the regular ones are delicious.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't eat beef. Like I eat pork and chicken, and I don't eat seafood either, though. So that makes it difficult sometimes.
I understand your struggle, Damon. I'm in the same boat. I don't eat beef or seafood, so
yeah.
I'll eat beef occasionally, but it's not my favorite thing. It's like if, in certain ways I'll eat it. But
yeah, I've been eating beef in 28 years probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
I think I haven't eaten it in 28 minutes. I had a burger tonight, so.
This is why we have Ziggy on, man.
Exactly.
Well, the first time we had you on was to review the Food and Wine Festival, so, and we... unfortunately, we didn't get that last year, but
no, and I'm a little disappointed now that we didn't have Ziggy when I came back from my trip, so we could talk about all that cool holiday food.
Did you do the holiday one too, Ziggy? Did you go for that one?
I did. Yeah, I didn't do a whole review on all the booths like I do for Food and Wine, but I did make my way around and taste some of the snacks that looked the most appealing.
You did the pine cone thing? That pine cone that was in the Starbucks?
Nope.
That's probably one of the best things I've ever eaten.
Wow. Well, what was it flavored?
Was it like a almond sort of thing? Like, you know how, like, when you know something was good, but you couldn't really describe it?
It was just delicious.
It was just so delicious that it overwhelmed anything else in my mind.
Okay. Well, next year, if they have it around, then I'll get it. Definitely.
Chocolate chestnut pine cone is what it was.
Okay. Have you guys done Flower and Garden?
Yeah.
I was at Flower and Garden last year. Well, no, it was the last day of Flower and Garden was like my first day at Epcot, so I only caught a little bit of it. But I was gonna be there for it this year, and for this trip, but unfortunately, obviously my trip got canceled, so couldn't do that.
Well, if we have Food and Wine again, eventually in the fall or whatever, then I'll come back on and do it with you guys for sure.
All right, cool.
That sounds good. So anything else we want to talk about this guy camping on Discovery Island? Because I think it's pretty hilarious.
I just think it's awesome.
I mean, what attraction would you do it inside? Would you do it inside one of the attractions? Because I think it'd be kind of cool, too, to do that.
Inside one of the attractions? Well, Ellen would have been the perfect one, I'll tell you.
That would have been a good one, yeah.
The aquarium? No, because sharks scare me. So, no, probably not that.
What about sleeping in the little lobby area? Well, I don't want to call it the lobby area, but the area on the Millennium Falcon ride where the little couch is. Just sleep on that couch for the night. I'd do that. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know about that. I mean, for me, I don't know. What about, would you have slept in the Alien Encounter ride?
No. Why? No. Ziggy, what were you going to say, Ziggy?
No way, man. That thing freaked me out.
Yeah.
It gave me nightmares. I wouldn't sleep in there. That'd be crazy. Can you imagine waking up, though, and like looking up and be like, ah!
It's funny because I'm sure other people would say the same thing, but I almost feel like if you didn't do certain rides, like you missed out on Disney. Like, I feel bad for like my kids that, did my kids must have gone on Alien Encounter, or maybe I did. I don't even remember. I have to go back and look now. When was Alien Encounter over? When was it like actually over?
I want to say like the late 90s.
Yeah. So then my kids would not have done that. But I saw so many people with kids going, oh, you're making a big mistake. You're making a mistake.
Closed in 2003.
Okay. Yeah. So my kids wouldn't have done it. And then again, this is going to be the only problem with that ride is all the people that got hurt, because people got messed up on that ride trying to like get out, like, and trying to sit down in those seats. So many like busted ankles and busted legs, but man, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I guess I didn't know about the Disneyland, this knockoff version of it, but
it's
now
not
that
a knockoff. I mean, it's the original technically, right? It was in Disneyland before Disney World.
I'm jesting, but yeah, like if you miss out on certain rides, I mean, they're gone, they're over. That's it.
True. Yeah,
Spaceship Earth would be a cool one to sleep in. I would sleep in that.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
that'd be a little creepy though.
Yeah.
Why would it be creepy?
Westworld. Right.
But you can say that about any of the rides, though.
No. But see, I have to say this though, because again, go watch the original Westworld, and then it becomes a lot different.
Oh yeah, I get you. I mean, I think it'd be cool to just camp in the middle of Epcot. I think that would be cool. The Land Pavilion, that would be a nice place to camp.
Yeah, I guess.
The reason I was thinking of Spaceship Earth, because at the top you got the scene with the Earth. And then all the stars, the outer space scene. So
that's true. That would be kind of neat.
Place just to, at the end, when you're all done, just lay down and chill out and go to sleep.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. That would be a really good place to sleep, because you just look up and it's the stars, right?
Space Mountain too, then.
Yeah, you could do that. I don't know where you would sleep, but
well, how do you even know? You've never been on the ride.
That's a fact. I'm just saying, where on a roller coaster, where it's a building filled with a roller coaster, where are you going to sleep, on the floor?
Yeah, on the bottom of it.
All right. I mean, I guess you could do that.
I could play all the games on the way. Okay.
We're probably getting to the point where we're starting to get a little punchy. Ziggy, it's like 2:00 in the morning for him, and this is getting past him. It's bedtime. So we should wrap this up, guys.
Okay. Do I get to wrap this up?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. Wait, do we pour out a little Dole Whip for Trevor? Right, because he's not here, and then because he was supposed to wrap up. All right. So let's see. Mention the email.
I'm sorry. We do miss Trevor, but
yes, we do miss Trevor. But we love Ziggy too. So
yes, we do.
Anyway, welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. I mean, you can send us email, but honestly, your best bet is to catch us on our Facebook group. Wait, is Ziggy even part of our Facebook group?
I don't know. Are you part of our Facebook group, Ziggy?
I don't think so.
I might not be. I follow your page, but
he's not part of our group.
The group, yeah, I'll have to.
Gosh darn it, Ziggy!
You need to have your page like our group. That's what you got to do.
Okay,
there we go. Because that way we can talk to Ziggy. Everyone's missing out if you can't, hear from Ziggy. That's what true. I would say.
By the way, Damon, but
yes.
Just an update really quick. I have mailed all of the pins. So,
to people?
Pins, all the pins have been mailed out.
Please, okay, so good. So please, on Facebook, if you've gotten your pin, post a picture of yourself wearing it. That would be awesome.
They should come to everybody within the next week, except for our one listener, Alex, who is over in the UK. You should get yours sometime in 2021. Okay. So considering I sent something to Trevor in Canada like 3 weeks ago and it's still not there yet. So it's going to take some time, but all the other pins have been sent out. I am missing one address from one person on the list. So we're going to try to find them, but all of the pins have been sent out and those, nice. All of our listeners that won the pin should get them next week. So.
And you have to send Ziggy a pin too. Gosh, Tom.
I got, but it's,
it's going to take 8 weeks
it's going to take forever to get to Ziggy too.
Yeah, that's true. So we would say we would solicit questions for the next podcast, but we're not because we still have other questions we need to go over. Yeah, still have a bunch to go over. Social media. Gosh, I don't even want to say give us a review on Facebook if we're going to get what we got from the other people. Gosh, just stay home. But that being said, if you'd like to give us an iTunes review anyway, go ahead. You can go ahead and do it. And our YouTube channel, gosh, I can't even mention that yet. There's one video. Doesn't count.
There's 2.
Oh, there's 2. That's right. And if you want to buy anything, store.welcomehomepodcast.com. And, the real reason why I want to do the wrap up is that so we're not anyone in this group, unfortunately, even though maybe Tom and Trevor would be great, doing a Netflix Originals podcast, which I will let everyone know about. But if you hate me, don't listen to that one either. But if you me, feel free. Right?
It's going to be the same Damon on that podcast.
It's going to be the same Damon. It might be Jeffrey the Puppet might come on too. You never know.
Well, if you ever feel like inviting me on, I'll join you if you ever want me on.
Of course. If there's any like Disney shows now, they're all going to be on Disney Plus. So if we venture out to the other ones, then that would make a lot of listeners happy, I'm sure.
Yeah, it sounds good. That sounds like fun. What is it called again? Did you say?
Boomtron Podcast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Ziggy, you want to talk about your site really quick before I do the full wrap up here and just a plug to your site or anything else you want to plug today? We appreciate you being on. It's always fun having you on, Ziggy.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's great to be on with you guys too. Every time is fun. If anybody who wants to check out my site, they can. It's ziggyknowsdisney.com. You can also follow me on Facebook. I'm pretty active on there. For some reason, I'm not following your group.
Yeah, not active enough, I guess.
Yeah, it's what it's not about.
That's where you can reach me the best probably. And otherwise on my site, like I said, we're doing a lot of stuff for planning. Right now it's a little bit challenging because we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the parks, when they're going to open, how exactly they're going to be, but we're staying on top of it. So as soon as we know what's going to happen, I'll have something on it so that you can go on there and organize your trip the best way you can. So we'll have to hang in there for now until this thing passes over. But yeah, so thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it, and it's always fun.
Thanks, Ziggy. We appreciate it, man. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any podcast app that's out there. Just search for Welcome Home. And of course, pick the one that says DVC and Disney, not that other imposter Welcome Home out there.
Still want to have them on the show. I really do.
I don't even. What is their show even about? I know we talked about this. I don't.
About like raising a family. They talk about, I think, like cleaning their house and stuff like that. I think we probably give them more traffic than they probably get on their own.
That's funny. I like it. As a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on the show are our own. So talk to a Disney cast member, a DVC representative for anything we talked about today. Big thank you to DVC Rental Store for sponsoring this episode. Really, really great company. Please work with them if you want to rent some, a DVC room and maybe try out DVC if you're not a member yet and are thinking about becoming one. So check them out. Of course, join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion and DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awald, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
We do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.